Thank you for coming back. We are now going to hear from John Knabe and John Hill, who are running for the Gage County Board of Supervisors in District 6. I would like to remind everybody again that we are being broadcast live on Channel 9. Channel 9 will show this several times between now and election time, so if you did miss it, you will have an opportunity to see it again. Each candidate is going to be given a 2-minute time for introduction and 1 minute for each question. Questions tonight that are being asked were submitted to the chamber office from the community. If anybody in the audience would like to submit a question, please write it down on paper and give it to our assistant, who will bring it up to the front. After the end of the question and answer period, they'll be allowed 2 minutes for their summation. Before we started, John Hill was given the chance to begin, so we'd like to hear your start.
Hello, and thanks for hosting the event. My name is John Hill, and I'm running for District 6 County Supervisor. I've been a lifelong resident of Gage County, with the exception of the years I spent at the university. I now live rural Gage County near Holmesville. I'm a graduate of Southern High School. I attended the University of Nebraska and received my pharmacy degree from the University of Nebraska Medical Center in 1977, and I practiced pharmacy since that time. I spent 33 years at BSDC. The last 27 years of that was as the pharmacy manager. The last 2 years I've been doing relief pharmacy work in the area, and the fact that I am doing relief pharmacy work, and that's kind of what fits my lifestyle at this time, I felt it'd be a good time to accept another challenge, or attempt to accept another challenge with depending on how the voters read this, and it makes a better fit for me to do it at this time. I think I would be able to work with other supervisors, work with the other entities within the county, the townships, the communities, all the volunteer fire departments and EMS units, and the things that need to be addressed by the board, as well as Engage and that type of thing. Certainly with Engage, I think we need to emphasize on businesses that fit Gage County and not try and compete with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Mr. Knabe, would you like to give us your introduction?
Sure. My name is John Knabe. I've lived my whole life here in Gage County, south of Wymore. Graduated from Odell and also from the University of Nebraska with a degree in elementary education. Taught for school in Beatrice here at Lincoln Elementary School for 4 years, and currently we're farming and driving truck for the family business. We haul livestock all over Nebraska and Kansas and surrounding states. I've spent the most part of my life, or since graduation anyway, volunteering for different things. I tried to get on the fire department when I was 16, and they told me I couldn't because I had to wait for insurance purposes. But since I was old enough, I've been on the fire department in Odell, and also serve as a EMT and the rescue captain there. So I'm familiar with the Gage County EMS services and how that works. Also served as the Barneston Township Board Chairman for 4 years, and currently occasionally run the road grader and do some road grading and some culvert work and things like that when that's needed. I'm married to my wife, Renee. We have 2 little girls, and I guess we're just looking for the next challenge here, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knabe, and you're going to field the first question.
Okay.
What is your number one priority project or program, and how will you pay for it?
Well, I think my number one project, again, like the other supervisors have said, is definitely infrastructure and roads. It is the biggest part of the budget, the thing that we do most, and the people see the most of. I think the county does a really good job, I think, with being efficient with the money that they have. I've had the opportunity to think about some of these things and to experience it from the township perspective, and I think that we can do a better job with our gravel allocations and maybe how we utilize townships. Currently, we're required to take gravel or rock, or we can stockpile it, which is inefficient for a township perspective. If we could take cash in that or do something like that, swap out, we could possibly get the townships to lower their levies, or we could use that money to purchase road graders if we need new ones. We could do road work if we need to do total reconstruction, ditch work, and things like that that we maybe currently don't have the money to do. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanabe. And Mr. Hill, I'm going to give you the same question. What is your number one priority program or project, and how will you pay for it?
I think we're pretty much in agreement throughout the candidates tonight that the main priority is the infrastructure of the county. Certainly the county roads and the county buildings, including the jail and the courthouse, and to have effective maintenance that delays future expenses. Certainly Hickory Road has been mentioned. I think it's something that needs to be looked at, but I don't think you look at Hickory Road without looking at the rest of the roads in the county and the future of the blacktop roads in the county and how we can maintain them within our budget.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hill. And I'm going to give you the next question. Is there a program, project, service, or department provided by the county that you feel needs significant changes?
I don't see a single department that needs significant changes. I think the number one priority is to continue with the board as far as improving working relationships with everybody and working in a constructive manner and kind of a more constructive manner and less tone to the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. And Mr. Kanabe, I'm going to give you the same question. Is there a program, project, service, or department provided by the county that you feel needs significant changes?
I don't think anything really needs significant changes. I guess I will, again, talk about the roads department. I think again, if we can work on those relationships with townships, I think townships can be utilized a lot better than what they currently are. I'm not in favor of getting rid of townships at this time, at least without a cost-benefit type of analysis. But I do feel like townships are more efficient because a lot of the roads that were county roads years and years ago do not receive the kind of traffic that they did years ago. We could possibly get away with transferring some of those roads around and maybe even eliminating a county road grader position. And especially during snow removal times, townships do an amazing job getting that stuff cleared. I will echo what Mr. Sharp said too. I think our communications with the citizens is extremely important, and really maintaining relationships with the media, I think, is very important, so that we don't end up with very public fights. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kanabe, and I'll let you start the next question. If elected, what do you believe to be your role and authority in day-to-day operation of the county?
I think as a county board or supervisor, I think our job is to hire the best person for that job, and the county highway superintendent, that position I think needs to be filled. You can hire people that come in and look at your businesses. You can hire those folks to come in and tell you what you need to do better, that they've seen working other places. But I do believe a person that has a vested interest in the county, the former superintendent lived in our township, and he was out on the roads every day. He saw what was going on and what needed to be done. I think you gain a lot of value from that, regardless of who that is. I would always be in favor of that, as opposed to a consultant that doesn't have any ties to the community.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanabe. And Mr. Hill, I'm going to give you the same question. If elected, what do you believe to be your role and authority in day-to-day operation of the county?
As far as the role, the county board, as I understand it, is the direct supervisor for just 4 departments in the county, which is the highway department, the building and grounds, the veteran services, and the emergency services for the county. And there they need to have consistent, fair, equal supervision. Employees need to know what's expected of them on a regular basis. As far as the office holders in the county, they are elected, and it's the voters' responsibility to remove those office holders if they so choose, if they're not doing their job. And the county voters have done that at times, but it also gives the office holders the incentive to run their office more like a private business in the fact that they do face re-election and are responsible to the voters.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hill, and you're going to field the next question. Economic development is always a topic of debate when it comes to the city and county. In your opinion, what should be the role of the city and county in funding economic development using tax dollars?
I think the county needs to work with the city, basically through the Gage that has been formed, and the county should also work with any community within the county that is seeking economic development. And economic development is important, whether it's in Beatrice, outside of Beatrice, or Liberty, or wherever. I think that you can certainly offer incentives to get businesses to relocate to Beatrice or to the area. I think those need to be limited. You don't want to attract somebody to the area, and then when the incentives run out, they look for incentives elsewhere. And I think you need to grow local businesses. I think you can look at, Peterson's, for example, in DeWitt. They were there a long time as a family-owned business, but they weren't there too long afterwards. You can look at Keys, Yahoo, they were there as a family-owned business for a long time, but they weren't there so long afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. And Mr. Kanabe, I'm going to give you the same question. Economic development is always a topic of debate when it comes to the city and county. In your opinion, what should be the role of the city and county in funding economic development using tax dollars?
Well, I think the city and the county do need to work together on that because the primary employment force in the county is Beatrice, and a lot of the smaller towns are basically bedroom communities. But there are a lot of empty storefronts in the small towns that could have somebody come in there and start a small business of some kind. I guess I will agree with Mr. Hill. I think we do need to be careful when we're giving incentives out to people. You've got businesses that have walked the walk in the county for so long, and they have put money into the county, and they have hired people here with their own dollars, with their own initiative, and they're not getting any of that. The best thing that we can do is spend our money wisely, keep our levy reasonable, so that we can attract businesses that way. And then we won't have to give out the incentives to do that, because when incentives run out, chances are people may not stick around.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanabe, and I'm going to give you the next question, the last question of the night.
All right.
You start the last question of the night. The city has had several major community improvements in recent history: the library, high school, the water park, hospital, and airport expansion and remodel. Are there any projects you'd like to participate in with the city?
I think those projects that are used by everyone, I know there's a lot of people from Wymore, from Odell and that come up and use the water park. I think those also need to be looked at if we are going to be helping Beatrice with them. As far as the library, Wymore has a nice pool down there and a library as well. Some money, if that is the goal of getting those public things funded, then some of that money needs to come back to the smaller communities as well. I know not too long ago, the county board voted to give Beatrice a fairly substantial amount of money in construction of their football field. I think that's a terrible idea. And I know Mr. Rex Adams voted against it. I know Terry Juergens voted against it. That's for your school district. That's for your town. If that's something that is specifically for that, I don't see that. Nothing would then, after that precedent, stop Wymore, would stop Odell, would stop Adams, would stop anybody from coming and getting that money. And they should be approved for it on that basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kanabe. Mr. Hill, I'll give you the same question. The city has had several major community projects in recent history: the library, high school, water park, hospital, and the airport extension and remodel. Are there any projects you'd like to participate in with the city?
I think mainly that's going to be through Gage and economic development. There can occasionally be times when it's beneficial to both the county and the city, and there would be benefit to working together with Beatrice or another community. I would also agree, I was at the supervisor meeting when they voted on the giving the $25,000 to the Beatrice High School. and I thought it was a real stretch as to justifying it. It opens up the door to everybody else and everything else as far as those funding. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Hill. And it's time for your closing remarks. If you'd like to give yours, that would be
I think
good.
I'm up. No,
Didn't you?
Who's that?
I'm up.
John up?
I think
John's
I'm
up.
up.
You are?
I
Are you
think so.
sure?
I can.
Okay.
All right. Again, I'm John Kanabe. I'm running for District 6 County Supervisor, Republican. I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event. Been sitting up here a couple times in the past, and it's really a good experience for me, and I think it's very good for the voters of the county to see what we stand for and what we believe. On the school board and the township board, I think we've managed to do a real good job running things with help from everyone else. I like to get along when I can, and I like to work with people when I can. If there's something that I do not believe in, I don't go along with it for the sake of getting along. I don't go along with it for the sake of saving face. If it's something that me or enough of my constituents have contacted me about, there's no way I can go along with stuff like that goes against what I believe and really what my community believes. And so in that spirit of what I've done on the township and the school board, I would continue that on the county board, and I would appreciate your vote on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kanabe. And thank you to Mr. Hill and Kanabe both for coming out here tonight. And
You got to go yet. John's got to give his closing.
You
you guys are trying to mess me up.
Yes, we are.
You know, you
We gotta get the other John.
you went out of turn.
I did. No,
Yes,
I
you
didn't.
did.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. The Johns are right, Bob.
Are candidates allowed to argue with the moderator?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Now that one's messed me up here, go.
I would again like to thank the Chamber for hosting this, although as a first-time attendee, it went better than expected. I do ask for your vote for County Supervisor. I would be good at gathering input prior to the meetings, working throughout the county, especially District 6, into researching the things we're going to vote on, work on, meet with people involved in the county. I'd also like to mention that I think the township boards do a tremendous service to the county. They're helping neighbor type thing. They do it at a limited cost. They do it when the snow needs to be removed. And snow doesn't fall 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. They're out there. They want to get out. Their neighbors want to get out, and they're responsible for them. If they're going to be gone for a week, why somebody's going to be there to cover for them. So I'm committed to doing what's best for Gage County. Obviously, Gage County was settled by basically good, hardworking people. The economy was based on ag and business and limited manufacturing, and that is still the case with a lot of changes. And obviously the size of farming operations have increased tremendously, which has affected the rural population, affected the population of the smaller towns in the county. And the county needs to move forward, taking into consideration what has changed in the county and what is going to continue to change in the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill, and also Mr. Kanabe for coming out tonight, as well as all the other candidates. Once again, this will be televised again several times on Channel 9, and don't forget to vote in November. Thank you.